Well, where do we start this video? My apologies, guys, this is gonna be all over the place. So for any of you guys considering buying spark plugs off of eBay or Amazon, and there are also other websites that sell abnormally cheap spark plugs, please take great caution when you are buying abnormally cheap spark plugs, even when they appear to be exactly the same part number, manufacturer, etc. The sellers will claim that these are the OEM spark plugs, and I literally could have nearly blown my engine due to this cheap ass fake knockoff spark plug. So I feel really bad for the people that have worse luck than me and blow their engines due to this extreme misfire condition that happened just 1 week, less than 1 week after buying these brand new eBay spark plugs. So let's go over the situation here, guys, okay? So these four are the original spark plugs that came out of my Kia Rio. Now, I know a lot of Hyundai cars and Kia cars, they all share the same OEM spark plug, and it's the NGK IRIDIUM, which stands for IRIDIUM SILKR6B10E. Now, please note that there are many different cars, Subarus, I've done some research, Subarus, Hondas, Kias, any different maker, guys. You have to be aware of the abnormally cheap prices. They're cheap for a reason, and I'm going to show you why. So looking at this, so these are the four that I pulled out of my original engine at 66,000 miles, right? Notice the condition. Look about what you would expect for a decent running car at 60,000 miles. These ones right here, that came in that package, which looks extremely legit with that, look at that fancy pants sticker that I had cut open with like a seal. It was all sealed. It says Hyundai on here. Like, these look so legit, guys. These were $17 shipped to my door for all four of these spark plugs, okay? This one is, and these are all the same exact to the T, the model numbers are exactly the same on every one of these plugs. This one was bought from AutoZone for $17 for one plug, okay? And I have the other two, they're just still in the boxes. This is directly from the Kia dealership. They come in a janky box. They didn't even have the things on the bottom to keep the tips from getting smashed. They were literally just chilling in those boxes. Okay, the original cost would have been $100 for all four of these. It was actually like $95 for all four of these, but since I was a dealer, they gave me a cost, which was like $65 for all four of these at the Kia dealer, okay? So this cheap ass box, I mean, what would you think looks more legit? This Hyundai box or this goofy looking cardboard cheap ass box? It's obvious to see that these guys spent more money trying to make a nice fancy box to hustle people into buying these turds than anything. So let's look closely at the differences, things that you guys can notice. These plugs, guys, are literally one gas tank old, and look at the electrodes on these things. Hopefully my phone. I literally had a huge misfire on the freeway. It's not really focusing here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this focus better for you. Look at that, you guys. It's melted. Literally 300 miles or less, and it melted the tip. Okay? So I limped the car to the parts store. I replaced it with this one. And I got a note that when I first pulled these out of the box, I thought that these things were so worn because of the, look at the tips. See how they're like triangular on the tips? They're kind of rounded. And then you look at these and they're fully square. So I had assumed that these were like way worn down because the tip was like triangular right there, rounded off. And these ones were square as can be. So mistakenly, that was the first thing I noticed that was so different. And we're like, wow, look how worn down these are. They're all rounded off on the end. And these are fully square. So I was like, okay, awesome. This is gonna be running much better. Little did I know that that was the first sign that I had some fake spark plugs. So we're gonna go over here to the This one is the one I got from AutoZone. Notice the rounded tip on the ground. And then these are the brand new ones from the Keeler dealership. Notice the rounded tip. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get closer for you. So it's supposed to be this way from the factory. It's not supposed to be squared like this, okay? Other differences. This is the easiest way to probably tell if you've got fakes. So the lettering on the fake ones is gonna be like a brighter, more solid blue, okay? The other ones are gonna be more of like a faded light blue. Looking over here at the older ones, the same thing. It's not as dark, it's not as bright blue as it is on these ones, okay? It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but in person you'll clearly see the difference. The newer ones are like a lighter blue and more of a faded look, okay? Other differences that you can't see here on the video, but I can see in person, is all four of these, they're like a very porcelain white up here on the shaft, and all the others have a slight yellow tint to them, okay? So that's one thing that you could notice. Keep in mind, these are brand new out of the box and they have a slight yellow tint to them when compared to these bright white shafts, okay? All of them do. Another thing that's different, look at the top parts. It might be hard to see this in the video, guys, but these are more of a darker gray, and these are more of like a lighter gray. And all three of these look the same. These all four are darker, and these other older used ones are lighter as well, okay? Other things I noticed, this one has a chip in this porcelain. There's probably no way you can see that in the video, but it's chipped, so obviously cheaply made. You might be able to see that on like the middle little circular thing there. Other things to notice, the list continues. Look at how much longer these spark plugs are, you guys. It's literally like a couple millimeters. You can clearly see the difference right here. And I put them right next to each other to verify this. I know it might look like it could just be off just because of the video, but I had these stacked all right next to each other, and I had a line on the top and the bottom, and there's literally like 2 millimeters extra length on these ones. Other things to notice, the plot thickens. Now, okay, so these ones say NGK right here on this little round part, and this one I got from AutoZone says Japan, okay? So don't get thrown off if they say NGK or Japan, because they are different on these ones. Let's see what these say. These ones say, the fake ones say Japan, okay? So don't get so focused on just that part. These older ones also say Japan. So I wouldn't get too caught up on that part. More differences. There are more, guys. So if you look at whatever the white part is right here, notice that it's longer coming out of the real plugs. It's definitely noticeably longer. And these ones are much shorter, the white part, okay? Much shorter. Even on these old ones, you can see that the white part coming out is much longer, okay? Other things to notice. So you notice how this thing just totally melted? Look at this one, guys. This was gapped literally at a 27 before I put it in, and literally it's at a 60. That's how much of the tip burnt off, because these are not real iridium tips like these ones are. And if you look closely, you can see the discrepancy, okay? Look how precision these look, the tips. Precision, and these are 60,000 miles old. Look at the end of the white part, the precision tip. How sharp they are, machined looking they are. And then you get to this, and it's like dull, not sharp. So that's a clear, noticeable difference right there. And another huge thing to notice is, notice how these are, the fake ones, are more squared on the hook. Okay, they're more squared than these ones that are more rounded and like perfectly rounded looking, right? Go to these ones and there's more squared looking. Okay, we're gonna keep going to the real ones and look at that roundness come back. Right there's the difference. Put my finger in here. So square tip, rounded tip. This is the AutoZone one. And this is the one from the Kia dealer, rounded tip. There are more differences, guys, such as if you grab the tip, you can see that there's a little indent right there, that little mini indent on the top. The fake ones don't have that, but all the real ones do have that. There are other ways that you can identify this stuff, such as there's a part number right here. You can call NGK and verify this part number if it's legit or not. It's kind of hard to see. You can call NGK and verify that way. And there are even more differences, you guys. Can you believe? Like, to the blind eye, nobody's gonna be able to pick these differences up. It literally, you're gonna read the plug number and assume it's legit, right? I've been a mechanic basically for the last 20 years, more or less. Not full time, obviously, but I've never seen anything like this in all of my years of working on cars, building race cars, racing cars at the racetrack. I've messed with a lot of spark plugs, guys, and this stuff is crucial to get it right, get the gap right, get the right spark plug in the car, or you're gonna have misfires. So I just wanted to make this, and what really threw me off is the seller of these spark plugs literally has like 10,000 feedback, right? And he's at 99% positive. This blows my mind that more people are out there blowing up their motors. What screwed me over is literally it ran great for the first few days, and I left the guy a great feedback because I saved 70, 80 bucks from getting these, right? I got 4 for the price of 1 at AutoZone. So I was stoked. The car was running good. I left a good feedback, and now that good feedback is somebody else is going to see it, and I cannot change the feedback to negative. So other people are now going to see my feedback, and they're going to buy these spark plugs, and he sold a lot of them too, like 500 of these spark plugs. Look how goofy this OEM right from the factory box looks. I mean, come on. You would not think for a second that those were real and these were fake, especially with that high-tech looking label. Look at that sealed label, guys. I cut that open myself. Same part numbers, same part numbers. So if it looks too good to be true, guys, it is, okay? And I can just imagine if this was like, some cars are literally like a day or 2 jobs just to replace the spark plugs. Thank God this little Kia takes me 10 minutes to replace these spark plugs. But yeah, guys, I mean, just look at that trash. Could you imagine taking a whole day, putting some new spark plugs in, and then this is the result after 1 week? Luckily, my motor is okay. I'm gonna go through these. Oh, another thing too, guys. So these ones I just got from Kia dealership. This one I got from AutoZone, and the originals that I pulled out was 60,000 miles. They are all gapped at about 36 to 37. Should have had red flags going off when I pulled these out of the box, and they were gapped at 25 to 27. Way too small of a gap. Way too small of a gap. So there were a couple weird things, and I didn't think about it just because of the legitimacy of this box, the seller's positive feedback, and then these numbers. It looks so legit. So don't get duped like I did, guys. Go to either the auto parts store and get the proper spark plug, or go to the dealer. I would probably just say go to the dealer to pay a little bit extra and know you're getting the right part. And hopefully you don't have to dilly-dally and figure out this huge puzzle like I've had to do. I will never do this again. This is a good lesson learned. Hopefully I can save you guys a lot of trouble going forward. Just do it right the first time, okay, when it comes to this stuff. I have bought a lot of things off of eBay in the past, and I have saved a lot of money in doing so. This is probably the worst I've been duped, but luckily it was only for $17, so I'm not throwing too big of a fit. It wasn't like a large ticket item. But now my eyes are open going forward. So if this helped you guys, if you've been through this before, leave us a comment so other people can see and save some other people from making this mistake in the future. There are other websites I have heard of as well, not just eBay or Amazon. There are other websites that offer cheaper deals on spark plugs. So just know, if it looks too good to be true, just like this, it probably is. All right, guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.